All right, welcome back and bear down. Today we're going to focus on the tight end room for the Bears and Cole Kmet. Is he an elite tight end? And by that, I mean, is he a top five tight end? A guy that you think can put up 1,000-yard seasons, that can compete with the Travis Kelce's, the Mark Andrews, the Sam Laportas now, the George Kittles. Is he up there in that same category? Is he a top five tight end in the league? So we're going to take, like with the other things we do on this channel, we're going to take a look at the numbers. We're going to take a look at some advanced breakdowns. And we're going to see where we think Cole Kmet is, where he's been, where he's progressing, and if he really is that type of tight end that can compete on that tier in the NFL. All right, so first off, let's look at where Cole Kmet came from. He's out of Notre Dame. He was the top-ranked tight end in the 2020 NFL draft class. He was considered the most NFL ready in that draft class to come into the NFL, to be plug and play, and to become a tight end star in the NFL. He was the number one ranked tight end, but he was the 45th ranked overall prospect. So he's not a Brock Bowers type of prospect. He's not a Kyle Pitts type of prospect. And that's what we're up against. There's a lot of people who are comparing him and saying, we need to bring Brock Bowers in to have another weapon. And while I don't mind the 12 personnel sets, I think it's another weapon for us to have. Is that more valuable than getting a defensive end, getting a tackle, getting a wide receiver, getting the real needs that we really have? So I'm going to tell you right now, my preference is that we do need another tight end in the draft, but someone in the third or fourth round is someone that I'm going to be comfortable with. I really had my eyes on Kate Stover at this point, tight end out of Ohio State, a converted linebacker. Really tough guy, great blocker, and good hands. You see from Cole Kmet's Raz card, he was a great prospect. He's got good height, good weight, good hands. He's elite on explosion. Everything about him screamed that he was going to be an NFL caliber tight end and that he's going to make that step into the next level. So let's look at his stats compared to some of those in the league this year. Here's the 2023 NFL tight end leaders. And this is just based off receiving yards alone. Obviously, Sam Laporta led in receiving touchdowns. You go by different categories, you're going to have different leaders. But everyone looks at yards. That's what we look at when we're thinking of receiving leaders, at least. So I'm going to look at this and say, okay, Cole Kmet this year was the 9th leading receiver in the NFL. And really, that would have been 10th if Mark Andrews stayed healthy. He only played, I think it was 10 games this year before his major injury. He was out for the year. He already had something like 400 or 500 yards. He would have been easily at the top of this list as well, right there in the top 5 for sure. And so, yes, Cole Kmet is a top 10 receiving leader this year in the NFL, but where does his other metrics stack up? Let's go to a couple of different categories, what I like in my tight end and receivers. First, we're going to look at catch percentage. And this is plain and simply how many times the ball was thrown at you and how many catches you had. How many times did you catch the ball when it was thrown to you? And this has a lot to do with how good your quarterback is as well. So Cole Kmet led the league with 81.1% catches. So of the balls that were thrown to him, he caught 81% of them. Dalton Kincaid second, Evan Ingram third, Travis Kelce, Trey McBride. This is out of the top 10. So this isn't overall out of everybody. This is out of our top 10. I've taken the top 10 as our sample. We're going to break them down, and we're going to look at them. A lot of good tight ends on this list. Second, we're going to look at the drop percentage. Drop percentage, Cole Kmet was elite. He did not drop balls that hit his hands, and he's done that. I mean, he's really gotten better at that. Last year was his real breakout year, and there was the famous catch he made against Atlanta, one-handed, being hit as he caught it, and he brought it in somehow. Miraculous catch. There's no way he should have made that catch. He does it all the time. He did it this year in the end zone as well from Tyson Bagent. He caught one that there's no way he should have caught that ball, and he did. So he's elite at it. He's leading the league. TJ Hawkinson second, Evan Ingram. As we talked about in my other video, you want your top tier guys, your top elite wide receivers and tight ends to be around that 5'6" range. So these guys at the top here really are the elite of the elite. So far, Cole Kmet's looking good on our metrics of what we want out of him. Number 3, we're going to look now in the open field, broken tackle percentage. So Trey McBride, out of every 11%, so basically 1 out of every 9 times someone tries to tackle him, he breaks the tackle. That's freaking insane. Cole Kmet right there in the middle. You see he's at 5.4. That's not bad at all. That's actually a good grade. I think it'd be a little higher if he wasn't dealing with some injury issues. I think he could have fought some of those off, but sometimes he was playing through pain. But either way, he's done well. Let's go now to separation. And this, to me, is pretty exciting. And I'll show in a second here how he's progressed each year, but Cole Kmet in the entire league was number one, 4.1 yards of separation. Your good receivers should have a yard or two. 4.1 yards is ridiculous. So the fact that he had 4.1 yards of separation is just crazy. 3.8 from Dalton Kincaid, who's a great young receiver. So is Sam Laporta. I mean, there's some great receivers coming to the league. Travis Kelce, Trey McBride. Trey McBride had a great breakout year, and these are the reasons right there: separation, broken tackle percentage. And last, we're going to go on to fumbles between these guys. Obviously, George Kittle, Jake Ferguson, Sam Laporta, Cole Kmet. Well, those first three had 0. Cole Kmet, T.J. Hawkinson, Dalton Kincaid, Travis Kelce, Trey McBride had 1. David Njoku had 2. Evan Ingram had 3, so had a little bit of a rough spout. Cole Kmet's 1 fumble was not lost, but it doesn't matter. He fumbled it, and that's what's important there. All right, so he stacked up very well against these other tight ends in the league. Let's look at his performance over the first 4 years of his career. His season comparison. So up top, you see his yards: 243, 612, 544, 719. He's gotten better. He's just improving. 7 touchdowns last year was huge. That was his breakout 6 this year. He's a go-to source for Justin Fields with some advanced metrics on it. Look at how he's progressing each year on his catch percentage. 63%, 64, 72, 81. Drop percentage has been coming down to where he's number 1 in the league. Broken tackle percentage. That looks like it's coming in, but that's really a flat line. He's just stayed consistent. When you're at that broken tackle percentage, he's just consistent. He's breaking a tackle 1 out of every 18 to 20 times, basically. And separation, he has become elite. He has a way of getting open, so he's definitely becoming an elite receiver. So, all this we tried to go through fairly quick. I didn't want it to be a super long video, but am I happy with Cole Kmet? Absolutely. The contract he signed is only going to increase his value. Most tight ends don't find their niche in the league until year 3, 4, 5 in the league, when they're between 27 and 30 years old. That's when a tight end really comes around. Cole Kmet is hitting his stride now. I see him being that guy with his catch percentage, his drop percentage, how he's consistent with breaking tackles, and most importantly, figuring out the separation in year 3 and 4 in the league. He is becoming that guy that can easily, once we improve this line and once we get a few things keyed out, he's definitely a weapon. He's a guy that can easily have a 1,000-yard season. We've got a steal in Cole Kmet. Is he a top 5 tight end right now? I'm going to say no. He hasn't reached it there yet. I love all our players. I'm going to do some breakdowns on ones that I'm not so happy about. And I've praised Justin Fields, and I've got my praises in different spots. But Cole Kmet, absolutely. A guy I'm excited about, a guy that I really love that we signed that extension with him. I think it was a great value extension. He absolutely has the potential to be a top 3, top 5 receiver in the league. Is he there yet? No. I think it's coming. I think he's right on the verge. Tell me what your thoughts are. If you haven't yet, please like and subscribe. I like doing this. I'm having fun with you guys. I appreciate your support. If you could, it helps those algorithms, helps us get out. And until next time, we'll see you soon, and bear down.